You're awake again. It's 3:17 a.m. and you're staring at the ceiling like it owes you answers. The bedroom is dark except for that sliver of streetlight cutting through the blinds, and your phone screen glows face down on the nightstand because you already checked the bank account twice. You already read the test results portal one more time. You already counted the days until the next paycheck and came up short. Again. I know you're awake. And I need you to hear something that might flip your entire night upside down. This isn't insomnia. You're not broken because you can't sleep. You're not weak because your mind won't shut off. What if, and stay with me here, what if the reason your eyes snapped open between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. on this Wednesday, July 22nd, isn't anxiety? What if it's an invitation? POV, God doesn't waste a single sleepless night. There's a hospital waiting room chair that still has the impression of your body in it. You've memorized the pattern of the floor tiles. You've counted the ceiling panel 17 times. The doctor said, "We need to run more tests," and those 5 words have been echoing in your chest ever since. You're waiting for news about someone you can't imagine living without, and the silence at 4 a.m. is louder than any diagnosis. Or maybe it's the stack of bills on the nightstand. The ones you've rearranged 3 times tonight hoping the numbers would magically change. The medical bills from last year that insurance, mostly, covered. The credit card you used for groceries because the refrigerator was empty and your kids needed to eat. The late payment notice that arrived yesterday with bold red letters that felt like a punch to the stomach. Or maybe it's your own body that's keeping you awake. The chronic pain that doctors nod at sympathetically but can't fully explain. The back that throbs when you lie still too long. The joints that ache when the weather shifts. The fatigue that bone deep, soul-level exhaustion that coffee can't touch and sleep doesn't fix. You've tried the medications, the stretches, the supplements, the "have you tried yoga?" suggestions from well-meaning friends who don't get it. You don't have to pretend to be strong right now. There's a tear on your pillow that you didn't even realize fell. There's a knot in your chest that's been there so long you've stopped noticing it, until nights like tonight when the distractions fade and all that's left is the weight. The weight of waiting. The weight of wondering. The weight of holding everything together when you feel like you're coming apart at the seams. God sees that tear. He sees you in the dark, phone in hand, searching for something, anything, that might make this night bearable. He sees the way you've been gaslighting yourself all week, telling everyone, "I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine," while you're drowning in plain sight. He sees the Karen at the insurance company who denied your claim and the way you swallowed your anger because you didn't have the energy to fight. He sees the empty chair at the dinner table, the silent bedroom, the diagnosis you're terrified to Google at 2 a.m. None of this has escaped his notice. But here's the thing nobody tells you about surrender. It doesn't start with a grand gesture. It doesn't start with you on your knees in a church service with hands raised and tears streaming. Surrender starts with something much smaller. Your fist. The one you've been clenching without even realizing it. God doesn't need your strength. He's not impressed by your ability to white-knuckle your way through crisis. What he's waiting for, what he's been waiting for this entire sleepless night, is your exhausted yes. Just yes. What he places in your open palm first is peace. This is where Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 stops being a verse you memorized in Sunday school and becomes a lifeline. They become an invitation to collapse. Leaning is not the same as standing. Leaning means transferring weight. Leaning means admitting that if the thing you're leaning on moves, you will fall. That's terrifying for someone who's built their entire identity on being the strong one, the responsible one, the one who handles things. You've been trying to fix this alone because somewhere along the way, you absorbed a lie. Maybe it sounded spiritual. Maybe it sounded like, God helps those who help themselves, which, by the way, is not actually in the Bible. Or maybe it sounded like, I got myself into this mess, I need to get myself out. Or maybe it was just the quiet, persistent whisper that your problems are too small for God to care about, too practical for a God who's busy running the universe. That whisper is not from Him. The God who numbered the stars also numbered the hairs on your head. The God who holds the oceans in the palm of His hand is also holding the unpaid bill, the medicine bottle, the eviction notice. Nothing is too big for His power, and nothing is too small for His love. So let's try something radical. Right now, in this sacred hour between 3 o'clock and 5 a.m., let's practice the spiritual physics of leaning. I want you to physically exhale all the air you've been holding in your chest since you woke up. Let it go. And as you breathe out, imagine your full weight, the weight of your body, your bills, your diagnosis, your marriage, your children, your fears, transferring onto something solid. Someone solid. He can hold you. He has been holding you. You just haven't let yourself feel it because feeling it would mean admitting you needed to be held. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because the next step after surrender isn't begging. It's gratitude. I know. I can practically hear you rolling your eyes. Gratitude? For what? For the empty refrigerator? For the late payment notice? For the chronic pain that's been your companion for years? This isn't toxic positivity. This isn't, just look on the bright side. This is warfare. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 18 doesn't say, give thanks for all circumstances. It says, give thanks in all circumstances. There's a difference. You don't have to be grateful for the cancer. You don't have to be grateful for the debt. You don't have to be grateful for the betrayal. But you can be grateful for the breath still moving in and out of your lungs. You can be grateful for the strength to face one more hour. So you've leaned in. You've let your fist unclench. You've breathed out the weight and you've whispered the scariest prayer a control freak can pray, God, I can't. You have to. Now it's time to get specific. Because the God who holds the universe isn't intimidated by the details. He's not overwhelmed by your spreadsheet of disasters. He's not too busy running galaxies to care about your MRI results. Psalm 103 verse 3 says He forgives all your sins and heals all your diseases. All. Not some. Not the ones that seem spiritual enough. All. So let's name it. Right now, in this sacred window before dawn, speak it out, not for God's information, He already knows, but for your own soul. Name it. Give it to Him. Not the sanitized, church-appropriate version. The raw one. The one you've been too afraid to say out loud because speaking it makes it real. Lord, I bring the diagnosis. The one with the long name I still can't pronounce properly. I bring the bank statement. The one I've been hiding from my spouse. I bring my son's anxiety. My daughter's depression. My mother's memory that's slipping away like sand through fingers I can't close fast enough. Now watch what happens next. Psalm 91 verse 11 promises He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. So right here, in the authority that Jesus died to give you, we seal what He's doing. And to the enemy who's been stealing your peace, your health, your provision, your sleep, you command him to return it. Enemy, you have no claim here. Return what you've stolen. Sevenfold. Now. Here's where it gets radical. Mark 11 verse 24 says whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. So before the bank notification comes, before the doctor calls with good news, before your loved one walks out of that dark cloud, we praise. Not because we're pretending. Because praise in advance is the highest form of trust. I receive healing now. Not when I feel it. Now. Peace is entering this home. Not when the circumstances change. Right now. Chains that have held my family for generations are snapping. I can't hear it yet, but I believe it. Financial breakthrough is already in motion. Restoration is already being arranged. The thing the enemy meant to destroy me, God is already redeeming it. Can you feel that? Not loud excitement. Something quieter. Something deeper. It's the plateau of hope. The kind that doesn't need to shout because it knows the outcome is already decided. So here's the truth about who you are as this prayer closes. You are seen. Not by an algorithm that brought you to this video at 3 a.m., but by the God who numbered your days before one of them came to be. You are loved. Not with the fragile, conditional love of humans who disappoint and leave, but with the unshakable, covenant love of a Father who already gave His Son to get you back. You are held. Not dangling over the abyss hoping you can hold on, but securely held in hands that spoke galaxies into existence. Psalm 30 verse 5 whispers the promise we're landing on, weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Your night has been long. Exhaustingly, terrifyingly long.